Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Imperial Splendour mod. We're playing as Prussia, and last time I ended off on kind of a cliffhanger as we were geared up to attack Kurland at their capital and wipe out all our current, I was about to say current opposition, but we are in fact still at war with Sweden. Although no blows in between our two countries have actually come to we haven't actually fought each other. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this battle right here. So we've got 7,000 enemies. Not much to say about them. Most of it is armed citizenry, but they have 2 units of line infantry, 1 unit of grenadier, 2 units of cavalry, 1 light cavalry, 1 hussar. They have a howitzer. And they have 2 German line infantry regiments. All of these roughly on the same... they're roughly kind of similar to my troops in terms of their stats. One interesting thing is the armed citizenry has 113 range, compared to normal infantry, which just has 100. So I wonder why that is. That the, recruited off the street people have 30% extra range. But then again, they have pretty poor accuracy. But let's not go on about that. Let's go ahead and take out the enemy and then contemplate where to go next if we should actually... I guess we should go north and take out Sweden, but we need our spies to be deployed in those areas, and we need a navy to actually get across the sea. I do think I can march through my allies' territory, so we could go either the route of going through Russia, or we could go the route of going through Denmark. That we cannot actually go through Denmark because we'll have to go through Hanover, and I'm not entirely sure. I don't think we're allied with Hanover, so we would have to attack Hanover, but Hanover is an ally of Great Britain, and we don't want to drag ourselves into too many conflicts. But with all of that said, it's time to go ahead and attack, so let's do that. The rain will make the misfires a certainty. The enemy is holding up in the town ahead of us. I've got a pretty good artillery position right here, where I can bombard them with my cannons. So we got the 12-pounders up front, backed up by the 25-pounder mortars back here, ready to bombard the town. One thing is, compared to the enemy, we don't actually have that many units. So in terms of line infantry, I only have 5 units, 4 fusiliers, or not fusiliers, 4 musketeers, and 1 grenadier. What I could do, if I see that necessity, is I could actually dismount my dragoons, and we could have the dragoons fight on foot, so they would be able to then fire if necessary, rather than to use them as a cavalry unit, a shock troop. Because I found that cavalry aren't that good. Well, what it is it doesn't have the same impact as it does in Napoleon. But then again, also infantry can't form square in the same way. So I guess it all... or I mean, the square isn't as powerful as it is in Napoleon. So maybe it works out in a way. The cavalry isn't that strong. With that said, let's go ahead and start. There isn't much to it. So... interestingly, the enemy has kind of ended up splitting his force, where we have a big amount or large amount of troops over here, and then we have the rest of them strung out like this. Everyone seems to actually be moving towards this area. Why is the Grenadiers heading over there? Is there impossible terrain on this side? I think we should focus on this side. Tell them to hold fire. I mean, the mortar should have a pretty easy time actually hitting these bastards. That's the German infantry. Doesn't seem like their howitzers are able to... Yes, they are in fact actually able to fire at us. Are they firing... I think they're firing... What's it called? Lime shot. It sort of looked like that. I guess they're firing round shot now because it's not exploding. I wonder why... Oh, the Grenadiers decided to switch... Well, I told the line to advance. The Grenadiers decided to switch on their own over to the left side rather than remain on the right. It's pretty odd. We've got enemy cavalry in the back, all the way behind town, so they won't be able to rush in to save the armed citizenry. Gonna keep the hussars a bit on the back here. Tell the cannon to open fire again. As the enemy is deploying, as they are deploying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these three, and we're going to do like that, and we're going to take these two and go like that. And we're going to start off by trying to reduce the enemy over there. How are our cannons doing? It's good in the modern Total Wars where you can actually just like in Shogun and stuff, when you just click on the unit and you can kind of see a tab come up and you see how effective they have been already during the battle. Kind of inaccurate, and we're almost hitting our own troops here. I think we also need to kind of... We're tearing down that house. Maybe get in line quickly. 2nd Regiment. Line of infantry. They're lining up in a bad way. Oh! We're getting fired upon here. I think they would fall pretty easily to an Hussar attack. Oh, they're regrouping to face the Hussars. But it's too late! And they're kind of spread out, they're not able to get into line. And the Hussars are able to break through the front line of the unit. We can see how they gone in and kind of splintered the unit, killing about 100 enemies in the charge. And then now starting to cutting away at them. But I mean, in Napoleon that would have been... The armed citizenry would have been toast, and they would have been forced to retreat. There goes the house. I'm gonna I was about to retreat the Hussars, so pull them back. We're gonna pull them back anyways, because now the musketeers are opening fire. Or in this case it was the grenadiers. Almost like a volley. Are they firing volleys? Some units we've seen. There was someone that really liked kind of the fire by rank thing. Oh, I think a cannon shot. It's kind of like volleys we're firing. But everyone's firing. Or everyone that can. I'm gonna tell the 12-pounder to aim for something else. Aim for the ground here, and then you can bounce shot into whatever the enemy is doing over here. Clearly, the situation changed, and I no longer need that many troops over there, so we're gonna move back the dragoons over to this side of the field. And this unit should be defeated pretty soon. It's lost about half its manpower. Are these guys... are they sitting down behind... yes, they are sitting down behind the wall, but in a weird way. We have impossible terrain. So kind of hard to get at them from this side. But the Grenadiers can march up here. And then the Fusiliers can go out here. And then march up and fire upon them. And while they do that, I wanted this one turned in. Ready to fire. We can see that the enemy is deploying more troops over here. Among other, the German line infantry. Although I do think they all kind of look the same. All the enemy's troops. So yeah, there's really no difference in between the German line infantry, more so than maybe some of the stats. Got a bit of fire coming out of these. The cavalry has now switched, so they're all there. So the enemy has gone ahead and located all their army over there. I think once this one opens fire, it's got a good angle to fire upon them. They're all in the woods though. Most of the units all the way back here. It's a really odd angle they've put themselves in. I don't think the Grenadiers will actually reach. It would be nice if they could reach to fire from behind the wall here. Yeah, I think they actually will. I was mistaken. Let's organize quickly. Oh, you've lost your banners! Ah, how unfortunate. Just one or two guys firing from the enemy side. Is everyone in line? The Grenadiers have started opening fire upon them. So they're taking flank fire. Here's the command of the unit. What are they waiting for? Oh, that guy. Right, let's march across the field. And once in position, we will fire. Okay, the enemy over here has been defeated. What I think we'll do is we can try to come at the enemy from within town. And hopefully that might protect us against their superior numbers. Dragoons will deploy over there. We'll stop right in front of them. The Hussars are right there, so they can be moved in. I'm ordering you to disarm. Otherwise, we'll open fire. We didn't kill as many as I thought we would. They're still steady. Second shot. Oh, now they start to return fire. Russian bastards. Oh, we lost one. Okay, we're ready to fire again. But this time, I'll will advance even further, and now I'll tell the Grenadiers to advance. So now we'll really fire point blank right at them. They will stand no chance. Maybe I'm playing with the enemy and toying with them a little bit too much. Okay, that was awful. Charge. And the grenadiers will join as well. Tell them to fire, not fire at will. My troops have entered the town. The mortar shots are really landing all over the place. There isn't really... if those two guys over there move over to that side, what we'll do is we'll take 2 regiments. And we'll have them advance like so. And then you will advance through town. Oh, we haven't won here yet? The enemy hold on for much longer than I thought. I would send in the cavalry, but we have actually surrounded the enemy unit. Because we have troops over here and troops over there. And this is really the only area where we could have gone a decent charge in on them. And I want the hussars now to move over here. The enemy is stretched out all the way over here. We'll keep the dragoons on this side of the hill. I've been targeting this area, but let's tell the cannon to fire, pick their own targets, and they can pick the guys over there. Let's get everyone in order. Someone also said apparently they had changed originally, or in an earlier version I guess, they had changed so the fatigue was, instead of like fresh and tired and stuff like that, it was actually ordered and disordered, apparently. I'm gonna target the mortar to target some unit kind of in the middle rather than... Seems like we're targeting kind of this area, I guess. The enemy is kind of on the move. They're able to start firing on the light cavalry over there. Not sure how useful that is at this point. We'll actually march a bit further forward. And with that we're gonna also advance these two. The enemy's kind of pulling back. You know what we'll do is we'll tell the mortar to find it kind of there. The enemy light cavalry kind of looked like they were gonna make a charge or something, but at the same time not. They're not really sure where they want to go. Before I pull this one out through the house... Ooh, that was a good hit. Well, I mean, it could have been better, but it actually... Even though I set it on firing like at random, it actually landed where we needed it to. We've got fire from the enemy as we pass on to the field here. It's the musketeers, and then the grenadiers will come over there. Although I have the hussars. Hussars will join the battle over there. Hurry into positions. And then they can start pushing down fire that way. Towards that infantry unit. And it's a pretty thick formation as well. A thick boy. And we're firing up the length of it. They're trying to, I guess, flank us here. I'm not sure. Got fire towards the enemy's cavalry over there. And the enemy kind of inching their way forward over here. Here's actually where the problem's going to be because there's so many enemies. But maybe this one will hold, the 1st Regiment of Foot will hold long enough when all of these kind of get stuck in that I think we might need to reposition the cannon. But I'm thinking a major attack by my cavalry coming in, sweeping through there. There's a lot of enemy cavalry now riding across the field, but not actually deciding to attack us. Okay, the grenadiers have nothing to fire upon, so they'll advance. And since the enemy is not actually actively firing against these guys, we'll advance further to get a better shot. Cavalry unit, now depleted enough to retreat, and the enemy opened fire a little bit over here, the line infantry, before pulling back. Not entirely sure what they're doing. Once this one's gone, we can go ahead and march this one up. The enemy is more and more concentrating troops over there. Let's bring the 2 units of dragoons closer. Okay, we've got another shot of mortars coming in. Not entirely sure where. Oh, right there. General just passed. He could have gone hit if he just had waited a few seconds. Cannon shots bouncing through, and a mortar shot exploding high. Oh, kind of marched way too far forward here. So quickly angle yourself to face these. We didn't take that many casualties in that move. I'm a little bit worried to charge head on against these guys. Because if they turn and start firing, they could kill a lot of these guys. So I'm thinking moving up like that and trying to pass the enemy unit. I'm surprised that that unit still stands. We'll actually gain more ground against them and then move through. And I think it's time that you guys actually moved out, even though we are gonna get flanked. And then these 2 will march forward as well. Oh, the cavalry, even okay, so they don't care which way they are actually facing. They'll just fire, swivel around and fire at wherever they want. So we lost a lot of hussars in that move. And now, oh, they're attacking the grenadiers. We'll have to swing around, hammer and anvil on the enemies over here. It's 2 armed citizenry units, form square, and go into battle mode, as it were. The hussars are ready, ordering them to charge in and aid grenadiers, which are now moving into square. Hussar charge went in. Should probably, yeah, it broke the armed citizenry. Same time, we got quite a bit of a fight going on here. Surprised this one still holds. Want to see if we can advance the dragoons at this point and actually move them into an attack position. Okay, the enemy was sent away over there. Hussars will withdraw. We'll get the musketeers and the grenadiers to go ahead and attack there, and then the hussars will swing in on them. And to cover their flank, the musketeer battalion will move forward. What are you guys doing? Nothing right now. I want you to turn a little bit so you can fire on these. And same with this one. And you will move forward. We've got better angles on everyone. So now these should be able to fire over there. But I think they can only really target one unit at a time. So it's either like aim for this or aim for that one. And since this one's closer, this one's gonna retreat any second now, in fact. We'll just move forward without them. They're gonna be defeated any second now. Let's see if we can't get that fight going. That's enemy grenadiers. But it's an unmodded unit. Oh, they're marching against us. We took a beating in the flank. They probably wished everyone fired there. And then the dragoons, the other unit of dragoons will fall in on the flank. Musketeers will be pushed into a charge. We fought them over there and we won. I forgot to actually tell the hussars to do a proper charge. But it seemed to have worked out anyways. We're gonna pull back the... No! The hussars gonna stay. Grenadiers, however, is gonna turn and face these guys. Dragoons are breaking the enemy. I think it's time probably to tell our cannons to hold fire. Everyone's now concentrating on that one line infantry. The enemy units are defeated. We're right in front of the enemy cannon, but he doesn't wanna... He doesn't really care. Okay, dragoons move off to the flank. While the musketeer unit will move straight forward. Let's see, the hussars charge the enemy general. Grenadiers firing over here against armed citizenry. The musketeer battalion fighting against these guys over here. This guy firing over here. There's two infantry lines. I'll actually order them because it seems like they were targeting the cannons rather than firing at the enemy line infantry, which what I am going to need them to do. We're actually losing quite a lot of people out here. Enemy general is about to get cut down. I think, even though I want to kind of send the dragoons over here, I think we're gonna have to send the dragoons over here because this unit and the grenadiers have actually lost kind of a lot of men. Throughout the fight over here. So right down that small unit. And then you will hit these guys. Hopefully before they're able to fire. And yes! We got them way before they were able to fire. You were able to send that guy away. To fall on the flank of that regiment. And we're starting to surround the enemy. Grenadiers will advance, musketeers will advance. Hussars are down to just 42 men, but they just killed the enemy general. That will be a big blow to the enemy's morale, and now those two units of armed citizenry are retreating. Dragoons will move over there. And then we'll get this regiment setting up right there. With the grenadiers setting up there. And we will kind of have surrounded the enemy. The front definitely needs help. 260 men left in this unit. Compared to 370 enemies over there. But I do still have my dragoons ready for a charge. And I think that is how we're going to win this. Let's get the hussars here just for good measure. We've lost a lot of men here. Oh, they are firing by rank. Move into bayonet attack from all sides. Now get them. And also all infantry do no longer go for guard mode. So we're charging in over here. Enemy line is falling. The enemy artillery is retreating. We're going over the defenses over here, and the enemy is retreating. Enemy is retreating over here. And let's see. The enemy is retreating all over the place. Which means we are victorious, and we ran over the enemy's defensive position. Oh my cannon. I guess I never told it to hold its fire. Cavalry will move out. And the hussars will move out. A lot of the infantry units. We took quite the beating in this battle. In terms of how many troops I lost. However, of course, this was the last enemy stronghold. So we no longer have a direct border with an enemy. Which is good. But damn, did we lose a lot of men here. I wonder where we lost the most. Like, what area? Got quite a few here in this fight. It's a lot of it is the fact that the kind of the armed citizenry stands for so long. So I think, I mean, in total they outnumbered us 2-1 at least. So in that sense, the casualty rates for the enemy will be a lot higher. But still, you would think that we would be able to break them quicker, but I guess just the way the morale is set up, stuff like that, means that the armed citizenry is a much more formidable force in this mod compared to other sort of vanilla. But with that, I think we'll go ahead and go back to the campaign map and take a look at the statistics. I note here that few units have almost kind of maxed out their chevrons. So hopefully they'll keep that after they get a replenishment of troops. But yeah, let's go to the back to the campaign map and see what kind of casualty rates we got out of this battle. In fact, we lost half our force. Out of 3,000 men deployed, we lost 1,500. The enemy, however, lost everyone, where we killed 6,500 out of them, out of their 7,000 roughly. The enemy killed about 1,400 of us, meaning that we inflicted 100 casualties on our own men, which isn't actually that bad. Highest kills goes to the Grenadier Battalion, killing 1,200 men. Then we have a Musketeer Battalion coming in next with 1,000 men, and then it goes 800, 600. The Hussar Regiment got 600. They lost a lot though. They lost a very high percentage. They were down to 40 men out of 200 at the end. Dragoons did really well. They didn't lose that many men. And they killed quite a lot, or they were very effective in the way they were able to charge down the enemy. Now the stats for the cannons aren't accurate, because as you can see, the general and staff got 140 kills. And that is because you can end the city battles early, and I mean, since everyone anyways is going to die, they cannot retreat. And then all those kills get just divided by everyone. I'd imagine though that if the general and staff actually got 140 kills, that they would get at least 1 chevron. So I'm not entirely sure why they didn't give that. It's a bit of a shame, because I mean, I don't know how many actual extra bodies were put on to the cannons. But interestingly enough, I mean, what we've seen here is, I guess because I haven't been able to use cannons there that much, but oftentimes when I play Napoleon or Empire, my cannons end up top, being able to kill a lot of enemies. But here it's standard line infantry. And we managed to take this place over. I wonder though, we can actually recruit troops here. Invaliden Corps. I'm not entirely sure what that is. 35 accuracy. So they're worse than the Musketeer Battalion. But they're a lot cheaper. But I wonder, Invaliden Corps, the Invalids, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Reload skill is half almost of a normal unit or a normal musketeer unit. It's actually not that bad compared. It's about 10 points worse than the grenadiers, but for the normal musketeer battalion, they have 53 in reload compared to 25 of these guys. 35 in accuracy, while 40. I mean, half. That means that for every round that the Invalidos can fire, the musketeer fires 2. Almost. Can get hussar regiments and dragoons. I was gonna actually turn this around, from not being a... That's what I've been thinking also about this area. I wonder, there's no other buildings I can build here, but you know, you could definitely tear down the military buildings in these areas and like build something else instead. I can't even upgrade it more. But say like, I don't think there are any other buildings I could build. But say, yeah. But say if there was limited amount of space and it's a foreign territory, I rather would burn down like the gunpowder magazine. But we'll remove the gunpowder before we burn it down. But remove that and build like an opera house instead. But that's good. We'll send the agents over to Sweden on either side. So we'll get them one in Finland, one in Stockholm, and then we'll have to see how we're gonna tackle that. If I'm gonna go ship landing, or if a ship landing is probably the easiest one, especially since Sweden has lost its navy. But it's gonna take a while for me to recruit any ships. Not that I need any. It's gonna take about 2 turns. It's not actually that bad. So within 2 turns I would be able to ship troops over. We would need to replenish the armies though before attacking, and maybe combine them. I think the army actually holding Stockholm will be pretty big, and we would probably for the first time really meet a full-size full army. Most of the armies we've faced against in our war against Poland and a war against Kurland has been heavily relying on armed citizenry. Now when we meet like proper army, it's going to be interesting to see how well we actually perform against that, and what kind of tactics I need to kind of devise. Could definitely send some troops from Berlin to take part as the cannons. I think the howitzers is going to be very useful. Maybe the general arms, the heavy cavalry of the horse guards could be sent, and regiment of like this guard grenadier unit the 5th Grenadier Regiment of the Guard, stuff like that. But with that said, oh yeah, I want to just check what is going to cost. It's going to cost me 6,000 to replenish this army. It's quite a lot. But with that said, we'll go ahead and end it right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!